I'm on the island of St Agnes in the Scillies, and it's a very beautiful island, but it's also a highly significant island globally. And the reason is that this place right here is the largest island in the world where the community themselves have eradicated rats in order to benefit the seabird population. So that's the story that Generation Sea Change is going to try and find out about today.
So, Jaclyn, why did the rats on St Agnes need to be eradicated?
Unfortunately, it's not the rats' fault, but they love to go into burrows and eat seabirds, chicks and eggs. And here on Scilly, we've got two species that they like to eat the chicks and the eggs of: manx shearwater and storm petrel. That's why we wanted to remove them.
And how did the community handle this?
Oh, they did so well, because when we first said to them, well, we could put bait stations every 50 metres across the island, but we'll need your help. And so they were wonderful in helping us, hosting those stations and changing their behaviour so there was less food for rats, and they took the bait. And we did it in 3.5 weeks in 2013.
It stakes into the ground, about 30 probably around the island. There's a hole that the rats go in, and inside the box there's a wax bait here. So what the rat will do, it will come in here and smell the chocolate flavoured wax, nibble the wax like that, and leave teeth marks all around like that.
So thank you for having us here. We've heard that this is a hotspot for rats. Could you explain why? I think it's obvious, but why and what have you been doing about it?
So there's not that many people really live on St Agnes, but during the summer months we do have quite a busy campsite here.
Yeah.
And this is where we collect all the rubbish. We get all the campers to drop their rubbish. And obviously, if a rat was to come back to St Agnes, this would be one of the places that they would try to, they may be found.
Right.
So we have one of our bait stations right here next to it.
So it's the bins that they're attracted to, and is there anything else? We've heard that they can come in by boat.
Yeah, there's basically two landing places on St Agnes. There's, if you like, the main freight point and passenger landing place at the other side of the island. But then here, there's domestic boats, and then you might get yachts coming in here as well. So I guess it's always a risk.
But do you sometimes worry that they're back, and do you have to keep an eye out for them?
Our good thing about having the campsite is you've got lots of eyes out there looking. But actually, no, there hasn't been any incursions since was it 2014?
Rats are pregnant for only 3 weeks before giving birth and will have around 5 litters a year. Each litter consists of between 6 and 15 pups. With the pups reaching breeding age within 8 weeks, 2 rats can therefore produce 500 million descendants in only 3 years.
So Jaclyn, this extraordinary community effort, which is almost unprecedented anywhere else, isn't it? Everyone's bought into it and achieved something remarkable, and the rats have gone. But there's another side to the story, isn't it? The end user, the birds here.
Yes, the seabirds are the underdog in this story. They were not doing well before the removal of rats, and now they're increasing.
And how do you know they're increasing? How are you monitoring population?
Well, that's an interesting one. So Dr. Vicky Healy, our seabird ecologist, she taught me 14 years ago, you can't see the birds, so you can't count them like gulls on the land and go, 2, 4, 6, 8. It's actually, you do it by playback. So now we have our phones we use. You download the sound of a manx shearwater or a storm petrel. You go to a rocky area or a grassy area where the burrows might be. You find a hole and then you play the sound of the bird, and if they're down there at the start of the breeding season, they'll call back because they think that's another bird trying to pinch that nest site. And then we go occupied, then we have a calibration rate, and that's how we monitor them every year. And that's what we've been doing for over 20 years, and we know the increase now.
Now the chick thing is really intriguing. I've heard this thing, which is obviously a myth, obviously nonsense, that they stargaze.
It's true.
I was really hoping you were going to say that. I was really hoping you were going to say
And you
that.
actively see them like putting their little heads up. So they come out, the parents, this is what's amazing about them. The parents leave before the chicks do. So the parents are leaving now, or they've gone. They're going all the way back down to South America. They've left this chick in the burrow, a third of the body weight fatter than an adult, so it's got its reserves, and for the next few weeks it's going to be losing the down and growing its feathers, coming out at night when there's not too much of a moon so they can see the stars, and they're going to work out, okay, when I come back in 2 to 4 years, I know where to lay my egg in burrows in this site.
That is just totally mind-blowing. So everything that's happened here has that sort of slightly wonderful Hans Christian Andersen air about it. The community coming together to get rid of this invasive animal, and then the bird numbers going up. Would you regard this as a pretty special story, really?
Yes, yeah, and it's something I'm really proud of. I mean, the first chick I saw in the summer after removing the rats, when I saw it at night time, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to just look at it, take a picture of it, film it, tell my colleague. I didn't know if it was just going to go up in a puff of dust, because the effort that went into that chick being alive, and it worked, it was the happiest moment of my life.
Well, you don't come across this very often in conservation, do you? Where science meets data, meets a community of people who all want to do something about it, and then do something about it in an impeccably coordinated effort, and the targeted species then recovers. It's like a fairy tale in conservation, that, and it's happening right here on St Agnes in the Scillies. So wonderful, wonderful story. Yes.